Again, I'm excited to have Festus Amoye on this session of Coffee with Cleo. Festus is an entrepreneur. He operates two businesses, an education technology company called Laddering Your Success. He also has a medical exercise business here in Houston. It's called Medfit, and he's a published author of Laddering Your Success book. So this is one of the top upcoming bright young professionals in Houston, and we're glad to have you on the program. So thanks so much, Festus, for joining us.
Yeah, and thank you again for having me. It's an honor to be here.
You're very welcome. Well, Festus, I want to ask you this question, and it has to do with entrepreneurship and the challenges that many businesses who are people that are starting up their new businesses deal with. For example, the top three things that most startup businesses face is cash flow, and that's lack of funding. The other would be marketing and advertising. And while the third would be time management, I think you'll find these three issues true, but what other aspects in running two businesses that are startups, of course, would you say are in addition to that that you're facing that you would like to share with the audience and those who aspire to have their own business?
Yeah, I'll touch base on those three, and then the personal ones to me. So I think definitely with capital. Capital is a tough one because a lot of people, they hear stories about, and myself included, I'm one of them. They hear stories about this startup got this funding and they funded this off of this idea and different kind of things like that. And that's not always true. There are some small grants available to kind of get things started and moving, but really you have to have a proven track record. And that's where real investors are going to come in. They want to see, who are you serving? Are people already paying you? What kind of traction are you getting? And then that's where the money comes from in terms of investment. When it comes to time management, I think that's one of the harder things, and that's a personal thing, based off of your priorities and also based off of your responsibilities.
Right.
For me personally, my biggest responsibilities are my family. I have two little boys. You might hear one in the background here pretty soon. But so those guys.
By the way, children in the background, that's reality. So you're showcasing an entrepreneur, again, a published author, and a father as well.
Thank you. And that's the thing about COVID. I like COVID because I said, yes, now my messy life is not really a big problem. Everybody's messy life is a big show. So that's great for me. but yeah, regarding that time management, I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure I carve out time for them, because one of the things that I've done is study other entrepreneurs. And if you listen to people, Mark Cuban, just a couple of the ones that I really like, Mark Cuban, Dame Dash. I know some people don't like Dame Dash. Master P, I actually follow Master P. He has a lot of interesting things.
He's a multimillionaire.
Exactly. He's coming up on a billionaire. So
yes.
These guys are really scrappy. Chamillionaire from Houston, Julian Gordon, a little bit of Boyce Watkins. And I follow some of these entrepreneurs to hear their story, not just see what they're selling. And following those entrepreneurs really has helped me, because again, even though I didn't just have one business before, I failed at about four attempts. So now I say, okay, what's the most important thing? Is keeping in mind that my family is why I'm doing this, right? Is to set up some kind of generational wealth for my family, and then also to be a blessing to others. To be honest, on this side of reality, it's the biggest blessing you can be to others is a business owner. I at least from what I've seen, because when I think about people who've given me opportunity outside of just a job, it's other business owners, and them employing me, them showing me kind of behind the scenes, the inner working of businesses and things like that. And so that's huge. And so anybody, I will say this: if you don't have the startup capital, and you don't have the time management,
Yes.
follow a business owner, get mentored, and you'll start to see how a lot of those things clear up for you.
You know, I know, Festus, I know you well, and I know that you're voracious and fearless about continuous learning, but also amassing and acquiring knowledge. And you do embrace the model of no one is successful alone. And so you go out and look for mentors. Not only do you mentor others, but you continuously look to learn across categories. So what are 2 or 3 things that you can share with aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners that you have found that have helped you excel with your businesses? What are 2 or 3 things that you can share?
Yeah, there was a principle that I use, and I call above you, beside you, and below you, and that's again in the book I wrote. You always have to have at least one person who's above you, who's exceeded your level of circumstance and experience, and they're doing well, and you're watching and learning from that person. At least one. I'm blessed to have quite a few. Yourself and Wes and a number of other people. And then you have to have people who are beside you. Those are the people that you grew up with. You have similar life experiences, and you could check yourself based off of that to say, okay, well, I hate to use the word compare, but to a certain degree, it is a comparison of, okay, if this is an entrepreneur my age, what's a realistic expectation? Because if I'm looking at people who are 10 and 15 years my senior, maybe I could get down on myself and my self-esteem. But when I look at people who are similar to me in age and where they are in life, maybe you'll kind of say, oh, okay, I'm probably doing pretty well for my age. And then there's people who's below you. And this is one of the biggest things to me. This is reinvesting in your community, in your family, and trying to bring others up at the same time. One thing that I've learned through experience and just in watching others is that a lot of people, they go and grab success and then they turn around and nobody's there to follow them. Nobody's there to give back to, because they've so separated themselves from the crowd that they're no longer how do I put it, touchable or have that authenticity of interacting with others who are in a certain sense beneath them. Not in their personhood, but just maybe in their degrees of success, right? And so to me, I think that's really important, is having those 3 people. Then in terms of what can I say to others, I think the big thing is don't be afraid to fail. I think our education system, the way it's set up, it set us up in a way that that basically you get an A or you get an F, and we think that anything between A and F is horrible. But if you actually look at personality tests and different types of things like that, what you'll come to find is the people who actually do really well are actually the C students sometimes, because the C students, they probably have a lot of hardship in life. Like myself, I was a C student through high school, and when I went into college, I actually got Dean's List several times. I ended up getting several honor societies, National Society of Collegiate Scholars, Alpha Chi, what else? Phi Theta Kappa, and these are usually reserved for people who are in the top of their field in college, and I was able to get those honors partially because of the way that the education system was structured in high school. For a person like myself who was working a job, who had an apartment while I was in high school, things like that, it was very rigid. So once I could actually study on my own and do the things I needed to be successful academically, and also just in terms of taking care of myself, I really blossomed.
Well, that's great advice. And we're speaking to young entrepreneur here in Houston, Texas, Mr. Festus Amoye. Of course, he has a physical exercise business called Medfit. He also has a education technology company, Laddering Your Success. and also the published author of the book, Laddering Your Success. Festus, this is great wisdom. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, I think that this is an awesome opportunity to just share on your platform and glean and hopefully help others.
Well, Festus, you are helping quite a few. And for this, we say thank you.